Hi, Shane. It's so nice to have you on the show. How are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing great. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Beautiful. And sorry about the technical issues and all with the network. So sorry about that, man. Okay.
Hey, no
Yeah.
worries at all.
Okay. So I want to thank you. All right. Firstly, for investing in yourself. You know, because you dedicated your time and energy to becoming who you are today. That was what attracted me to you. The result of the time and energy that you
Mhm.
dedicated to becoming who you are attracted me to you. And I must say that I truly admire that and I truly appreciate it. Thank you for investing in improving yourself. Thank you so very much. And the second one is thank you for honoring the invite. I truly appreciate it. And the listeners also appreciate it. Thank you so very much,
Of
Shane.
course.
Yeah. So
Yeah, those are
I
very
am
kind words. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you too. I am quite excited to have you on the show, Shane, for some reasons. Firstly, my interest in knowledge seeking, because I believe in order to transition from
Mhm.
a chaotic situation to that of a beautiful one, I believe it takes the application of knowledge, quality information. And you see, Shane, ever since I discovered that light in the Hebrew means knowledge and darkness means ignorance, I've been so keen to knowledge seeking because I do not want to remain in the dark. And that's going to make our conversation today very, very important to me and even to the listeners. Now, the second reason why I'm excited to have Shane on the show is for the sake of the listeners. We live in an age where information is as abundant as grains of sand. We've got a lot of information flying out there. So these folks trust me for quality stuff. And that's why when I came across your profile, I was excited because I believe our conversation is going to be insightful. So, for that reason, Shane, let's get started with your introduction. Talk to us about your personal or professional journey. We're just so curious. We want to know how you got here. And afterwards, I've gotten some beautiful questions for you. Okay, Shane,
Yeah,
over to
absolutely.
you.
All right, perfect. Yeah, so my journey started years ago, even when I was just in middle school, like when I was a young kid. I had this desire to be accepted. I had such a longing to have a lot of friends. And everything I learned from TV and what I saw around school was that the only way to show that you have friends is by quantity rather than quality. So, how many friends do you actually have? And so, what I ended up doing is I went on this pursuit of being accepted by people to be quote unquote popular. And I ended up turning my back on the friends that I did have that loved me for who I was. And I started to change who I was and hide like who I am so that way I could fit in. And I came to this point where I started gaining a lot more friends, but they had no idea who I actually was. Anytime I released the part of me that was really my uniqueness and my strange qualities and whatever it may be, they were pushed aside or they were dismissed or they were made fun of by these people that I considered my new friends. And I continued this for years and years and years, this desire to be accepted. So I would change and hide who I was to fit in. And it got to this point where I was surrounded by people that I called my friends, yet I felt so alone. I was in my 20s and just felt like I didn't belong there. And here's the thing is I started blaming everyone. It was everyone's fault except for me. They were the problem. They were the ones who didn't know me. They were the ones who didn't pursue me. They were the ones who didn't seek me. And I went on this journey of trying to figure out how do I build friendships? How do I build relationships? How do I have these successful encounters with them? And so I kept progressing. I spent thousands upon thousands of dollars investing in courses and coaching and conferences and books, dedicating almost a decade of my life pursuing this information and really testing out every capacity. I went through and I tested everything I learned and got hurt along the way, got rejected along the way, didn't do things correctly many times, just failed completely. And it got to this point where I started to realize, wait a minute, the reason I didn't feel like I belonged, the reason I didn't feel fully accepted wasn't because of anyone else. It was because of me. It was my own actions. It was actually a lot of my lack of skill in building quality friendships. So that's why I came through. My wife and I, we sat down and we have now gotten to a point where we are surrounded by friends that love us and know who exactly I am. I don't have to hide who I am anymore. And I have so many people in my life that we wanted to share this with so many. So we created it and put it down into a 6-step process. What we discovered is that friendship, meaningful friendship, comes down to 6 elements. And it's crazy because I learned that people are naturally really good at maybe 2 or 3 of the elements of friendship, but the other half they struggle in. And that's why they don't have the meaningful friendships that they desire. And so what we did is we combined them all. We've realized these are the 6 steps, the 6 elements to friendship, and we put it in what's called the friendship blueprint, which is what we've created.
Amazing, Shane. You see, this is a very important topic, and I said that because friendship has blessed a lot of people, and it has also destroyed a lot of people. You see, some
Yeah.
folks lose their marriages and
Mm-hmm.
lose their businesses, and their life tumbled, and all of these bad things happen to them. Some because of the like you mentioned, that you lacked the skill to make quality friends. And that's why I said this is a very important topic. So you mentioned about the 6 element. Would you mind sharing that with us?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first element is the foundational component. So you have to understand your needs and you also have to express your desire for friendship. If you don't understand your needs, you're never going to understand where to go in the friendship and you're always going to let them determine your needs. The second one is you need to become the initiator and initiate the hangout. Like you should be the one pursuing friendship. A lot of us wait for others to initiate. We wait for people to pursue us. But in truth, we have to be the one to take the initiative. And then the third step is you have to hang out with them. And what we learned is like a lot of people are trying to go vulnerable. They've learned that, oh, if you want to have true connection, you need to reveal your deep, dark secrets. But that actually pushes people away. So we created what's called the ankle deep method, which allows you to go vulnerable at a slower process. So you hang out with them. And then the next one, and this is key, a lot of people do not do this, is you have to reflect on the hangout. So after you hang out with them, you need to process what happened, the moments and the emotions that happened. A lot of us completely ignore this. And because of that, we let things go crazy in our mind and it ruins our friendship because of a little small moment that if you just reflected on, it could have been satisfied. And if you can't satisfy it through reflection, it gives you to the next step, which is follow up. We have to follow up with the people that we hung out with. And there's multiple different types of follow-ups. There's 3 that I've coined that we teach a lot in our friendship blueprint, which the first one is you follow up to hang out again. Now, this is so many people, especially in their 20s, don't do this. Like this is one of the main issues I find in younger people is they don't follow up to hang out again. And then the second type of follow-up is to gain clarity. So if something happened that went wrong or you felt embarrassed about or hurt by or offended, you follow up to gain clarity on that thing. And then the third type of follow-up is when you just want to have a conversation again. You're just trying to start the conversation and have like some type of flow with them, some dialogue. And then the last step, which is the key, is you have to repeat everything. Do it all over again. Make the micro adjustments as you go along, but keep doing this process. There's studies that say it takes 200 hours to make a best friend. You have to spend 200 hours with someone to get to that close inner circle place to build a best friend. And so what we tell people is you need to do 200 cycles of the friendship blueprint, these 6 elements, to really get someone to that close inner circle part of your life.
Amazing. You see, you and your wife, you actually made a great discovery because this would
Yeah.
have saved a lot of folks. I tell you, this would have saved a lot of folks from, how they choose friendship and how they choose friends and how they relate with their friends. And this would have helped a lot of
Mm-hmm.
friendships from collapsing. Okay,
Yeah.
now let us talk about, for someone or for people struggling with shallow friendships, all right? So, what is the one thing that they can
Yeah.
do to start building deeper connections?
So there's two, well, really, I mean, kind of three things that I would recommend you do. The first one is you have to understand your needs. If you don't know what you need in a friendship, then you're just going to go with the flow. You're going to go wherever the tide takes you. And that leads to shallow friendships. It leads to hurt relationships. It leads to people that you're not fully connected with, or you feel alone even when you're next to them because they don't really know you, because you don't actually know yourself. And so the first thing is you have to discover what you need, especially when it comes to that friendship. And that changes based on where you are at in that friendship. And we go much deeper into this in the friendship blueprint as well. And so you need to understand your needs. Then you have to become the initiator. If you wait, if you pull back and you expect everyone to pursue you, everyone to be the one to initiate, and you're waiting for others to be the one to go deeper with you, you're going to be disappointed. And so you have to understand your needs, especially in the friendship. You need to become the initiator. And then 3, you need to be the one asking more questions, pursuing them in the friendship and learning, like, how do I go ankle deep? How do I ask questions that allow people to go ankle deep and share vulnerability at a slower process without exposing everything? And then likewise, how do you start revealing more about who you are? Because that's how we feel known and seen, is when they actually see who we are. But the problem is, in our society and a lot of conferences and books, they say, just reveal your deep, dark secret. But that pushes people away. It hurts the friendship. I've done this. I've talked to many, many people now that have done this, and it did more harm than good.
Then good. I got that. Okay, you see, I used to believe that everyone was meant to be my friend until I learned the hard way. You see, I want you to talk about that now. For folks who still believe that everyone is meant to be my friend, just everybody can be my friend.
Mhm.
Can you try to explain or talk more on how wrong that is and why everyone is never going to be our friends?
Yeah. So what I do in the friendship blueprint is I break down what are called the friendship circles. Now, there's 7 friendship circles in total, but there's 3 main categories. There's your environmental friends, where these are the friends that you only have when you go to a certain place, whether you go to church, whether you go to a temple, whether you go to work, whether you go to school, a playground, a club, like a sports event, whatever it may be. You only see them when you go to that certain place. The other circle that there is the chosen circle. And these are the people you're being more intentional with. You're trying to pursue them outside of that specific environment and have a deeper relationship and whatever that looks like. And then the third one is your inner circle. And these consist of just a very small amount of people. These are your ride or die people. These are the ones that you go deep with. You call them when you're in pain. You can call them when you're on your bathroom floor crying, or when you have a flat tire at midnight. And so it's really important to understand that most of us, when we say, like, oh, not everyone can be your friends, we typically compare everyone to our inner circle friendships, those small groups, or we start comparing all of our friendships to, can we be super, super tight? And I think that's where the issue comes in. There's so many studies that show that if you ignore your environmental friends, if you ignore the people that your neighbors that you encounter on a regular basis, that you don't go super deep with, you'll have a conversation with them, but you're probably not going to invite them over to your house. If you ignore those friendships, there's actually a lot of mental health issues that come with that. We need community. Parts of Asia and the Eastern culture, they're really, really good at this. Like, they have a strong community that they could plug into, that they're all around with. In the Western culture, we struggle with this heavily. And what we do is we compare them to our inner circle friends. And so what I would recommend people doing is, like, oh, not everyone can be my friends. Well, maybe not everyone can be in your inner circle. Yeah, but you need people in your environmental friends. And the thing is, when you look at these circles, they go within each other. So your inner circle is one of your smallest circles, but your environmental, your surrounding friends, this is the biggest circle because it consists of the most people. And every circle determines the priorities, it determines your needs, it determines your boundaries. So if you get a call from someone in your environmental circle and they're like, I need your help, my tire's flat, but you're hanging out with your inner circle friend and you're having a deep conversation and it's like really important, then you would say, no, I can't. I'm sorry, I can't. I'm busy at the moment. But if it was flipped and you're with like an environmental friend, you're hanging out at the gym and your inner circle friend calls you like, hey, my tire's busted. I need your help. I'm on my way right now. Let me drop everything for you. And that's where you got to learn like, okay, where am I at in the stages of friendship, and not compare people who are in the early stages to people who are you've been friends with for years and years.
I got that. And that was well explained. Okay, lastly, how does your friendship blueprint help people move beyond small talk and create meaningful conversation?
Yeah, so a big component that we teach is our ankle deep method. It's something that I've created that allows you to go deeper into vulnerability, share yourself, and see more of them. And a simple way to explain it is it's sharing information about yourself that isn't super private. Like if you're at a coffee shop, it's okay if someone next to you heard it. Like it wouldn't damage you in any way. Likewise, you're being honest without sharing complete low details. Like you're not exposing everything that's going on. And then also it's sharing emotion, like, hey, yesterday was really hard or I got really upset, without currently being in the emotion. That's a major difference. So for example, there's sometimes when you're being really, really vulnerable and you're so angry or you're so frustrated or you're hurting and you're in a lot of pain, and you just reveal all the details in that pain, and you're in that pain in the moment. That's being more vulnerable. That's not ankle deep. That's actually revealing a lot. And if you do that to an early stage friendship, it's going to do more harm than good. However, what it could look like is after a few days of you processing it and it subsided and you're not currently feeling that emotion, then you can share some details about it and go in there. That's how you expose vulnerability at a slower stage that brings them in rather than pushes them away.
Beautiful. And you say, I've learned some amazing stuff from you ever since you started talking. But I want you to refresh my memory, okay? So you mentioned that we have the environment friends, inner circle, and what's the last one?
Environmental friends, yeah.
Environmental friends. What's the second one?
Yes, you have environmental friends, you have chosen circle friends, and you have inner circle friends.
Inner circle, got it. So you see, I took environmental friends away from the environment and took them all the way to my inner circle. And I learned the hard way. So thank you for explaining that way, the way you broke it down into categories and all. Now I understood why I learned the hard way. Let environmental friends remain in the environment and not in your inner circle. So I got that. So that brings us to an end. So to bring this to an end, Shane,
exactly.
What would you like to leave the audience with, like a final thought? And to those who would like to reach out to you, learn more about what you're doing, or even get the amazing friendship blueprint, how can that be possible?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, right now, you can go to thefriendshipblueprint.com, and normally we sell this for close to $100. Right now, we're doing it for just $7. And what we're doing is we found that a lot of people, when they come in, they might struggle with, how do I ask more ankle deep questions? Like, what does that even look like? Well, we give you an entire 50 questions for free. Like that's a bonus that we give you. And a lot of us, like what we do is we actually have issue or limiting beliefs, I would say, like that prevent us from actually having quality friendships. And so what we did is we created these freedom friendship shifts. It's like 25 limiting beliefs that you can adjust to start having that meaningful connection. We give you that away for free as well. And then maybe you're reflecting and you don't know how to reflect. And you're like, I don't know what to even do in that stage. Well, we have what's called the Heart Check Clarity Guide. We give that to you for free. Or maybe you're scared of rejection and you're scared to even pursue friendship out of fear of rejection. Well, we have an entire rejection proofing course. It's a mini course that we give you for free with the Friendship Blueprint. And then likewise, we have, if you struggle with having intentional friendships and you don't know how to pursue people and you don't know how to keep that consistency, we created a 30-day intentional friendship challenge that we give you for free. So you get the friendship blueprint, the friendship freedom shift, the ankle deep question vault, the heart check clarity guide, the rejection proof course, and the 30-day intentional friendship challenge for free for just $7 when you go to thefriendshipblueprint.com.
Wow, that's so generous. Thank you so very much, Shane. So that's going to be the end of the show. Thank you for coming and thank you for, sharing this amazing stuff with us. It means a whole lot, man. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.